And some big old headlines have come out, in terms of serialisation.
Mm-hmm.
You have found that
it's always the worst bit.
Well, the hardest bit is the worst day for me was last Sunday when it was serialised in the papers, because they just take the sort of one or two words. They don't look at the broader context of the.
We're talking Rieko Ioane here.
Well, that was a big storm about that, yeah. Which is never nice, I didn't mention it to kick up a fuss or to sell books. This is just what I was thinking at the time. This is just what happened. I don't think badly of him over it. You know what I mean? Like what happened in the heat of battle. I've done plenty of things.
Tell me about it. I've been on the receiving end.
He's called me the same things that he.
I called you worse. My song was way better. I'm just not as good as
you
player.
never strangled someone for squirting water.
Yeah, this is true.
That was brilliant.
Because Ioane then stuck something up on social media. Did this come across?
That's what I don't want. I don't want to tit for tat. It wasn't. That's not the intention. It's just to explain, because I was getting criticised for my reaction at the time. So the camera pans to me, the final whistle's gone, and I'm chasing after someone looking like a sore loser, which is probably true. But I was just trying to explain, this is just what happened in the heat of the moment. It's not a problem from my point of view. Yeah. But this is just it.
If you saw him now, would you laugh and have a handshake, or would you just sort of?
Yeah, I'd have no problem.
Nod and walk on by?
No problem at all. I don't think if he's putting up on social media, I don't think he'd be too interested. But I had lots of messages from people in New Zealand, but I'm just I didn't do it for this reason. I don't want to get into it.
It's part of the story.
Yeah, it's just a moment in time, and just to show that how a reaction can be portrayed one way, but this is just what happened in the background, and that was it.
Yeah,
I was interested when I saw you'd written a book, because I obviously I know you better now, but you were always very sort of similar to Owen in regards to focus on the team, winning at all costs, putting the team first, family. You didn't want to put yourself above the parapet too much and didn't want to be out a media guy. So when you write a book, it's hard because you've got an amazing story, but the fallout can happen. I wondered how that sat with you, and how hard was it seeing those things? Because when you're out the game now and you look at things like when I read it, you're just like, well, that happened. There's loads of things happen. It's sport. It's the expectation of the public is that when you have rugby or whatever it is, a combat sport, you're meant to conduct yourself like a gentleman at all time, forgetting that it's a violent sport, it's emotional reactions, it's the heat of the moment. I wondered, how did it sit with you revealing those stories, and was there stuff that you wanted to put in that you took out, and was there a bit of backs and forwards with the ghostwriter going, listen, I don't want that in there because I don't want the controversy? Yeah,
well, that's the thing that you battle with, isn't it? That's the balance that you need. So when you make a commitment to do the book, you kind of go, okay, well, I want to make it a honest book. I want to make it give people an insight into me, whether that's right or wrong. You know what I mean? It's trying to find that balance, and I tried to do that. You know what I mean? But it was tough, and especially, I haven't done any media since the World Cup last year, and then all of a sudden you're 12 months later, it's like, wham, that's a bit I don't enjoy, but it is what it is.
How do you deal with that? Because when we interviewed you before, again, you kind of, you're very close to your family. You kind of would consult with those around you, and that'd be your sounding board. Obviously, when you're out of that, when you walk in with your teammates, you can go, fucking hell, we saw what you said about that. You're like, listen, lads, you know the story. They kind of console you. When you're a bit more exposed and you're going into the office and you're walking in and these people aren't sports people, is it harder? How did you sort of get a bit of a sounding board? Do you just shrug it off? What do you do with that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I was a little bit nervous going into the office on Monday with all the stuff in the papers, but no one really.
Oh, fine.
No, yeah.
Well, because I've heard about what you did to Leo Cullen. So fucking nobody wants anything. Yeah.
But I think what you've always done well is, and you say it in the book, is that you are so passionate, and obviously the book is called Obsessed. You're so obsessed with winning, is that you recognise that you make mistakes on the field, or you might get into the wrong situation, because through your career, whether it be Ronan O'Gara, whether it be Leo incident with Leo, and then you say you lie awake thinking about it and of how you can fix it. And I think that's one thing you've always managed to come across is like when you make a mistake, you're quite happy to go, look, but it's the heat of the battle and it is what it is. And I think, there's a few other players who don't have that ability to do that, which has led them into, you compare that to Owen, who really doesn't like the media, and then a lot of the time doesn't get his side across, which I thought you did really well.
Yeah. Tell me about the relationship with O'Gara, because we've mentioned him. Because now actually you get on quite well with him. Is that fair to say? You got a good relationship with Rog?
But we had that like 2 years in Paris together.
Yeah.
So we obviously became friends then. But like he's
But
gone
initially,
initially, like it's like Has just described. You know, you're playing a game. You know, there's confrontation on the pitch. You're trying to get the same thing. You're trying to win. You're both trying to win. It leads to conflict, argument. You know what I mean? That's kind of normal in our lives, I would say. And then obviously we spent 2 years in Paris together, became friends. But then you drift again because he went off to New Zealand for whatever 3 or 4 years. Sorry, he stayed in Paris for another couple of years. When I left, he went to New Zealand. Then lives in France. So I haven't seen him in whatever years. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So. Apart from when Lara Shaw played Leinster.
yeah. But I saw something the other day because they were reading to Rog some of the quotes about the tussles that you had and what you said to each other on the pitch in the heat of the moment. And he sort of laughed and was very, very complimentary about you. How important is it to you that where you have had conflict in the past, you want to fix it? Is that something that is part of your makeup, or are there a few sort of relationships which are done, dusted, and you've got no interest in revisiting?
No, like it's like if you read the whole book, like conflict. I had 2 brothers. Like, you know, we used to just, you know, turn on TV. No, okay, no. It's my remote. No, it's not. Scrap to the death. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that was just normal. Like, you know what I mean? And then it kind of continues into rugby. Like, but you fight with these guys because you're very close to them. Like when you're with your teammates. You know what I mean? And you both want the same thing, which is we want to win on Saturday. You want to win whatever it is, the European Cup, the league, whatever. And it just leads to a bit of argy-bargy, like, you know, but like, maybe I blew it up too much, and
I think it is rugby, isn't it? Things happen. You know, it's like Hash just said. When you're on a rugby pitch, it's physical. You're gonna when you think you've got someone over on something, you can drop a comment in there, but then there's always a recourse at the next time if something doesn't go your way, and then it's how you take that. But it's what has always been said about rugby, right? You say it on the field, you do it on the field, then you leave it on the field.